Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user CandidPlankton9089. Am I the a-hole for asking my boyfriend not to go to a wedding with his ex-girlfriend? Me and my boyfriend Sam have been together for a year and a half. We broke up last summer for 2 months but got back together. During our break, Sam met up with his ex-girlfriend Rachel, whom he dated for 4 years prior to our relationship. They only met up once and nothing came of it. However, Rachel still has feelings for Sam and was hoping they would rekindle things. Rachel was enraged and threw a fit whenever she found out that me and Sam got back together. She sent him a lot of really nasty messages and continued to do so for several months, even though he never responded to her. Rachel and Sam both have mutual friends who are getting married. They were both asked to be bridesmaids and groomsmen in the wedding. In February, Rachel asked the bride if it would be okay if Sam did not have a +1 for the wedding because she wouldn't be able to handle seeing him with anyone else. Whenever Sam found this out, he immediately contacted both the bride and groom. They assured him that Rachel's request would not have an impact on the decision for a +1. Since then, Rachel has still continued to try to reach out to Sam, including going as far as contacting me via Instagram regarding the upcoming wedding. She started to harass me and even admitted that contacting me was for her own self-gain. In April, me and Sam were both invited to the engagement party. Of course, Rachel was there, but we were having such a great time that we barely even noticed her existence. At 3 a.m. that night, Rachel texted Sam yet again, degrading both of us. She told Sam that he was not going to be getting a +1 to the wedding and to not make a fuss about it like last time. I found the comment odd because invitations have not been sent out yet. Why is she the one telling him this instead of the bride and groom? Regardless, Sam finally responded to Rachel and told her to never contact either of us again. Fast forward to the present day. Sam got the wedding invitation and it did not include a +1. He contacted the groom and the response was that they had to prioritize other couples who have been together longer, lived together, and/or who both know the bride and groom due to the budget. I know 100% that a wedding should only be about the bride and groom and what they want. If they don't want Sam to have a +1, that is their call. I'm not entirely convinced that Rachel did not have a part in the decision. She is a lot closer to the bride than Sam is to the groom. So, am I the a-hole for asking my boyfriend not to go to the wedding without me? This would mean he would have to drop out of being a groomsman. The only reason I feel uncomfortable with him going is due to the relentless harassment about the wedding by Rachel. If she had been respectful and left us alone, I would have no problem with him going without me. However, that was not the case. She has continuously disrespected me, my boyfriend, and our relationship. She has no clue what a boundary is. I just want this to be over. Well, OP, I think asking that question wouldn't make you an a-hole, but I don't think you should be the one asking it. I think your boyfriend should be the one to say, well then, I guess I can't be a part of the wedding. As you've stated, Crazy Rach disrespected you, your boyfriend, and your relationship. That should be enough for him to say, yeah, can't do this. And speaking of Rachel, I know I have no evidence, but I strongly believe that she's the one that got you uninvited. I mean, she has a track record of being unhinged, so she probably went to her friend the bride and told her that if Sam goes with OP, I'm not gonna go to the wedding, then you don't have a bridesmaid. Putting the bride in a tough spot to choose, and in this case the chain breaks at the weakest link, and that is you. In any case, before you ask the question that he not go to the wedding, sit down with him, be completely honest about how you feel regarding the whole thing, and then give him the chance to make a decision. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Maya2661 says, not the a-hole. I could also imagine that the bride and Rachel decided this together, or Rachel convinced the bride and the groom now has to go along with it for the sake of peace. Either way, I couldn't trust Rachel or the bride either. Talk to Sam about this. What is his opinion? Did he trust his friend about the reason for the invitation? Maybe he should talk to his friend face to face about this. And Opie responds, I brought that up to him because he previously told me the bride wears the pants in the relationship and the groom just does whatever she wants. My boyfriend did start to see my side. He did ask the groom to call him yesterday so they could talk, but he never did. See Firefighter 4598. Wait a minute. A groomsman without a +1? Yeah, Rachel and the bride are probably in on this. If Rachel is more important than the groom, that says a lot. Sam should tell them he is opting out of the games, not the a-hole. And Opie responds, yeah, I thought it was a little weird that my boyfriend is in the wedding party without a +1 while couples not in the wedding party are being prioritized based on the amount of time they have been together and or if they live together. I get couples should be prioritized if they both know the couple, since I only know the groom. And Used Mark 7911 says, not the a-hole. They 100% excluded you due to his ex's drama. If he stays as a groomsman, he's basically consenting to all this nonsense. He should let them know that he's disappointed in their stance and quietly inform him that he can no longer be a part of the wedding. Quote, hi groom, I'm very sorry to have to do this, but I'm going to have to step down as a groomsman and I will not be attending your wedding. I know none of this is your fault and I'm sorry my ex has caused so much drama about your wedding, which should be about you as a couple and not our past relationship. Unfortunately, her harassment of me and my girlfriend have made it impossible. At this point, it would be hugely disrespectful of me to attend the wedding without my girlfriend, as the implication is that I accept ex-girlfriend's treatment of us, which I don't. I'm hopeful that this actually reduces stress for you at your wedding and avoids all potential drama on the day, which again should be about you. We wish you the best and hope you have an amazing and special day. And Opie responds, wow, this is very well said, thank you, I will definitely show him this. Opie's in-post update. My boyfriend talked to the groom. Due to the budget, they had to limit +1s to couples who live together or will be traveling out of town to attend. The wedding is being paid for by the bride's family. It seems like they had an input on who was invited. The groom did not know the full extent of Rachel's behavior towards me and my boyfriend. The groom was also surprised to hear Rachel told my boyfriend in April he would not be getting a +1, as they had not decided at that time. My boyfriend did come to see that it was disrespectful for the bride and groom to not allow him to have a +1. Even if his ex was not attending, the wedding party should have priority over regular guests. With that being said, he does not want to completely burn a bridge with the groom, which I don't want to happen either. We both agreed it will be fine for him to attend the ceremony but skip the reception. The groom said I would be allowed to attend the rehearsal dinner and welcome party, and as far as Rachel, my boyfriend plans to ignore her and immediately shut down any of her antics. My boyfriend is truly disgusted with Rachel and her psychotic behavior. Ultimately, she wanted to break things up between my boyfriend and me, but she has only made us stronger. Okay, well, the community agrees that OP would not be the a-hole if she asked that question, and apparently the boyfriend has spoken with the groom and everybody's disturbed now. So let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. It's been 2 months since my original post. In my last update, I told you all that the groom told my boyfriend that I would be allowed to attend the rehearsal dinner, welcome party, and part of the reception. We were told I would not be able to attend the ceremony or dinner portion of the reception due to the budget, but after the formalities are completed, I will be allowed to attend. Then, a week before the wedding, the groom invited my boyfriend to brunch on Sunday, the day after the wedding. He said it was going to be a super casual thing. I, however, was not invited to this brunch. My boyfriend reassured me he would not be attending without me. During the wedding rehearsal, my boyfriend decided to double check with the groom about me coming to the rehearsal dinner. Turns out, I had been uninvited from the dinner. We were informed of this 30 minutes before the start. The groom told my boyfriend I did not have a seat, but he would love to have me at the welcome party afterward. My boyfriend skipped the rehearsal dinner. We ended up going to a local bar until the welcome party started. Once we got to the welcome party, the groom came up to me and apologized for the politics. He told me he was happy I was there and looked forward to having me at the reception the next day. 2 people commented on us missing the rehearsal dinner, but I just changed the subject. After the welcome party ended, we all rallied to a bar close by. I was standing at the bar talking to one of the guests when the bride inserted herself into our conversation. The bride would only look at and talk to the other girl, even though I was adding input into the conversation. It was just like the interview Kirsty Flaw did with Blake Lively. I felt so uncomfortable that I ended up walking away. The next day, before the wedding, I met up for brunch with the girl. She informed me that as soon as I walked away, the bride started talking crap about me. The bride told her I was originally invited to the wedding, but that Rachel, my boyfriend's ex, said she would not be able to handle it, so I was uninvited from the wedding. The girl said it seemed like the bride was trying to get her to not be friends with me and to exclude me. She said it seemed like the bride was trying to get her to take Rachel's side as well. The bride admitted she was being petty, but that she didn't care. Mind you, I had just met this girl and we were just casually chatting at the bar. Why the bride wanted to focus on causing drama and excluding me the night before her wedding is beyond me. Like, girl, focus on getting married. I've never had an issue with the bride. I didn't realize she had an issue with me until the night of the welcome party. Mind you, she never said anything to me directly. And the only reason she has an issue with me is because of Rachel, who harassed me and my boyfriend. So I definitely don't care if my presence bothered Rachel. Around 8 p.m. is when all the formalities were finished and I was able to attend. I'm not going to lie, dancing with my boyfriend in front of his ex felt extremely good. I swear, we did not do it on purpose, but wherever his ex went, we were always right there. She could not avoid us even if she tried, and I definitely didn't hold back from kissing him while we were dancing next to her. At one point, the bride and groom were in the center dancing. I was directly across from his ex in her line of sight. She completely turned her back just so that she couldn't see me, even though everyone else was facing forward. The only people who would talk to us were the other groomsmen and their dates. We ended up telling several of them the full story because they had no idea. So the whole night felt like sweet revenge. I will say, many times the groom came up to me and said he was happy I was there. Whether he meant it or it was performative, I have no idea. I also don't care at this point. The only reason my boyfriend did not drop out of the wedding was because we were told I was not invited due to the budget. We were assured several times that it had nothing to do with his ex. If my boyfriend had been given the full truth, he would have dropped out. Whenever I found out the truth was already too late. My boyfriend was at the venue taking pictures and the wedding was starting in an hour. Anyway, once the couple gets back from their honeymoon, my boyfriend and I plan on having a conversation with the groom. My boyfriend said he will be reevaluating their friendship. Thank you all for your advice. Well, OP, sounds like you guys had fun, and apart from Rachel having an awful time, which nobody cares, the wedding went in general without a hitch. Now, personally, if your boyfriend has already decided to reevaluate the friendship, then I don't think there's any need to actually get together to talk to him. Why? The wedding is over, you're not friends with the bride, and Rachel, whatever, right? But of course, that's your decision. So in that note, here's wishing you guys the best in the future. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit entitled People, and it's by user Anaglyph. I thought they were house guests. They think they're roommates. So we just got back from a week-long vacation. One of the guys my husband knows from board game nights needed a place to crash with his wife for a convention and some job search logistics in our city, and we have cats. So having them house sit seemed like a win-win. I'm gonna call the wife Bonnie and the husband Clyde. They also needed a bit of time after our trip, which was also fine. One of our cats is kind of difficult, and 1 week of dedicated care was about equal to 2 weeks of crash space. They asked us if they could maybe stay a bit longer based on how the job search went. We thought that meant a few days. I know we're all trying to do less guest culture, but if you're sleeping in someone's living room, how would that not mean a few days? They asked for 3 months. Feeling a bit put on the spot, we agreed to 1 month. But even then, they're trying to tack a few more days on until Bonnie's birthday. Now that I write this, I kind of wonder if some of the math is they won't kick us out on my birthday. My house isn't set up for roommates, it's barely set up for long visits. It has both my husband and I on edge. My husband is now in full bitch eating crackers mode, where every little thing they do is setting him on edge. And of course, they do a lot of little things, like leaving half-eaten food or half-drunk sodas out, or spreading out their stuff in a common area, which probably seems reasonable because we don't really have a private area for them. I'm not really sure why they'd want to be here for 3 months. They'll be in a bad place if we kick them out. Their old place, the one they want to move from, is about 3 hours away, and due to a paperwork snafu, Clyde can't legally drive right now. Bonnie has a job now, but during training it won't pay enough for them to get an apartment. It's not a good situation, and I don't want to put them in a worse spot, but they can't stay here forever. Honestly, having them here past this weekend, like we'd originally agreed, is a really big imposition. I have big logistically complicated events running each weekend after that until mid-September, and I need the space to prepare. Is there a way to get them out of our house without torching friendships? Well, P, I don't know how you would kick them out without them getting offended, but at this point, do you really care? Also, 3 months? I don't know where you live, but if I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I am, 3 months, isn't that when like squatters' rights kick in or something? And also, don't they have any savings? Like, can't they get an Airbnb? I'm sure a monthly rental they could find that's not so expensive, and they could stay in the city while he keeps looking for a job and she does her internship or whatever, and then starts to get paid. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and let's check out the community comments. Snoo Business 7461 says, stop worrying about putting them in a bad position since they are thinking nothing of putting you in this situation. Time to torch that friendship because they have no intention of leaving. Never did. Tell them to pack up and be out by tomorrow. They told you they have an apartment. Its location is not your issue. Lumposian Lady says, I don't know where you are, but in some areas there are fairly inexpensive long stays hotels or inexpensive studio Airbnb rentals. It might be worth putting out 2 weeks or a month of rental cost to put them up elsewhere and let them figure out what to do after that. Where I live, if you let anyone stay with you more than 30 days and they refuse to leave, then you have to go through the courts to evict them. You could also offer them some cash to just leave if you feel bad about kicking them out, or just tell them you can no longer have them stay with you as it's creating problems in your relationship. Yeah, they'll be sad, mad, or outraged, but do you value the friendship that much after they have imposed so much? Sometimes you have to set boundaries in friendships, much as you want to help. And Mapiline says, I'm afraid there is no way of evicting them without ending the friendship, simply because they don't want to. They're just moochers and are going to throw a big tantrum, guilt trip you, badmouth you, etc. So, better evicting them sooner than later. Either way, it will not end well, so you might as well do yourselves a favor and evict them sooner. Alright, well, the community agrees that there's no need to salvage this friendship because they're being taken advantage of and OP just needs to get rid of them. So, let's move on to all the updates that OP has given us to see how the story ends. Update. We have lawyers that specialize in evictions. Yeah, it's a nasty business, but the dark secret of lawyers is that the more the firm looks like a Hallmark villain, the better the office culture is. If they really make us do it, we can do it pretty efficiently, and there's some social consequences that will follow for them. If they were thinking that was an option, that's going to get very ugly for them very quickly. Update 2. Something came up and they'd objectively be monsters if they tried to stay past the date we originally agreed on, so that's currently the plan and we are not budging on it. They aren't monsters, they're just people who expect one solution to all their problems. Should clarify for the sake of Clyde, I should have said that he can't legally drive his car. The paperwork isn't anything to do with his license. Keep your fingers crossed, we shouldn't need to go the legal route, but I mean it when I say if it came to legally removing them, we have hot and cold running lawyers on tap alongside extremely friendly laws for property owners. And it would be a pain, but it would not be a drawn out process and they wouldn't like the results. I'll either update this post. Final update. They're out. Bonnie tried to stage a medical thing while we packed their car, but we didn't stop loading their stuff and in the end, she followed her stuff. So they're out on the day we originally agreed. They're going back to the small city, as far as I know. I really can't believe someone could act like my friend and then act entitled to squat in the common area of my house indefinitely. Well, OP, I'm gonna call it a positive update. You guys got him out, and now you don't need to worry about them anymore. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.